Story time about how my boyfriend and best friend were sneaking around behind my back. So, a little background information, I was 15 and in 10th grade. So, my mom and dad were split up, and I was pretty much allowed to do whatever I wanted because of that. So, I was dating this boy named Jacob. Well, my best friend Alice literally hated him. Like, low-key, every once in a while, she would try to break him and I up, and when I would call her out on it, she would just deny it. Anyway, so the one day I didn't go to school because I was super sick. So the whole day I was trying to text Jacob and Allison, but nobody was answering me, which was extremely weird because no matter what, Allison would always text me back. So after I knew the school ended, I went to Allison's house. Nobody was answering the door, so I used the spare key. I walk in and all I hear is a very loud banging coming from her bedroom. So I walk in, I see my boyfriend and her together, and then he starts saying that she drugged him. So I went on his phone, I see a bunch of old text messages between him and her, and them exchanging pictures. And then sis wants to start giving me an attitude, so I punched her in the face, and then I left and I don't talk to either of them.
Embarrassing story time about how my dad caught me making out with my best friend because of my toxic boyfriend. Disclaimer, this is not my story time. It's sending me on Instagram. Okay, I've been with my boyfriend for about 2 years and he's pretty toxic. He constantly judges everything about me. My body, my hair, my face, the way I dress. Like, he's always been a little mean, but recently he's gotten even worse. I just turned 18 and for my birthday, I really wanted to have a fun time. I wanted to have a party for my birthday. The day of my birthday, my boyfriend showed up 2 hours late. Now, he says that he was busy at work, but I knew he wasn't working. I confronted him, but all he did was get really angry at me. And I told him that if he was going to be like that, then he needed to leave because I wanted to enjoy my birthday party. So this man actually left. The following day, he comes over to my house begging me for forgiveness. We started to kiss and suddenly he tells me that I'm a bad kisser. Then he starts shaming me for about 20 minutes about how small my lips are and that I've never been a good kisser and that I need to practice with someone else and not him. At first, I believed him because I'm like, okay, he's my first boyfriend and I really haven't made out with anybody. But then I thought, maybe he's just doing this to be mean because he doesn't want to be with me. He decided to ignore me for 2 days. I would call and text and he wouldn't answer. I even showed up to his house. A little about my dad. He really hates my boyfriend. He has seen some of his behavior and always tells me to break up with him. Now, my best friend, she hates him even more. She's convinced that he's cheating on me, but honestly, I have no proof. I couldn't get it out of my head for the next few days what he was saying about me being a bad kisser and that I had small lips. So I started looking into getting lip filler. And I decided to call my best friend and ask her for her advice. She came over and we were just talking for a little bit. That's when I asked her if I could just make out with her for a second and she could tell me if I was a bad kisser or not. Now I know this sounds really bad, but my best friend and I are so close. Like, she understands what I'm going through and I knew that she would say yes, which she did. At first it was kind of awkward, but then I just did it. After I kissed her, she said that I was not bad and that my boyfriend was the one that was lying. 2 days later, I went and got my lip injections. Mind you, this whole time my boyfriend is still ignoring me. I waited 4 days for my lips to heal and then I showed up to my boyfriend's house. When he saw me, he said I actually looked a lot better and that I made the right decision to get the lip filler. But then this man actually tells me to leave his house because he was gonna go out with his friends. I went home and invited my best friend over. I needed someone to talk to and vent to. Then I asked her if I could kiss her one more time just to see how my new lips feel. And right then, my dad walks into my bedroom. We quickly separated, but he just stared at us. He was shocked. Then he sat down on the bed and told me that he was actually happy because it meant that I was leaving my boyfriend. That's when my best friend and I started laughing and told him that no, that was not the case. I told my dad the truth about how my boyfriend's ignoring me and about the lip filler. My dad's disappointed in me for getting the lip filler and that I need to let go of my boyfriend. Later on, I hung out with my boyfriend and he confirmed that I do kiss better. But now he's asking me to do other things to my face. Honestly, I don't know what to do, and my dad's mad at me.
Am I the asshole for asking my sister where she got her babies? We assume my sister just kept a pregnancy secret because she breastfeeds. We weren't aware you could lactate without giving birth. She started coming into her features and the baby's clearly ethically something else. Facial features and even skin tone doesn't match either of the parents. We are Mexican and her husband is Ashkenazi. We didn't say anything because genetics can be weird. We assumed she adopted and didn't want to go back on her previous statements. Except 4 months ago, it happened again. This time welcoming a son. She added that she was in her second trimester of pregnancy with her first successful pregnancy. A cousin asked if they adopted and my sister got upset and reiterated that they would never. Last week I asked her where the hell her other 2 kids are from. Am I the asshole for asking my sister where she got her babies from? At this point, I'm really suspicious, so finally last week I asked her where the hell the other 2 kids are from. They clearly aren't hers, and if she's still spewing BS about the adoption being trauma, then how the hell did she get them? She got really upset and her husband got pretty angry and they both got up and left. My entire family is more or less backing me because we're really concerned about where the hell these kids came from. She has seemingly blocked most of us on socials where she posts about her kids and a few mutual friends. She's really angry about it, asking why I have to push and why I can't just be happy for her. It sort of puts us in a bind. I'm concerned about the kids, but also want to be in my sister's life. I don't feel like my question was too out of the ordinary considering how strange the situation is. I don't know. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for warning my dad's girlfriend about his relationship patterns which led to her dumping him? I'm 16 female and my 40-year-old dad has a habit of dating college women and dumping them after like 2 or 3 years. Then complaining about how needy and clingy they were. It's been going on my entire life and it really annoys me. Like, I feel like if he doesn't want someone clingy, a woman in her 20s willing to date a guy who could be her dad maybe isn't the best option. It's seriously like he's allergic to any woman over 23. I've made half-jokey comments before about how I think it's creepy he only dates women 24 and under. But apparently I need to mind my own business even though I live with him full time, so the women he brings over are kind of my business. Especially when he complains to me when he dumps them for being too clingy. Am I the asshole for warning my dad's girlfriend about his relationship patterns which led to her dumping him? Anyway, so about a week ago he introduced me to his new girlfriend and she's 21 but could easily pass for my age. Like she wouldn't be out of place in my high school. I don't know, it really bothered me in particular that day, so when my dad wasn't around, I told her that if she's looking for long-term things, she won't get it from my dad. And he'll definitely dump her before she turns 24 like every other woman he's ever dated. Then he'll call her a pathetic, clingy mess behind her back. I didn't think she believed me because at the time she laughed it off and said it was different with her, but I guess she thought about it and she ended up dumping him yesterday. He must have told my dad what I said because now he's angry at me for interfering in his relationship. And he's heard I thought of him that way, but that's the truth.
I was walking through the city at night recently, not because it's something I enjoy doing, but my dog needed to go on a walk, and we only have 5 minutes of sun in the day, so we're walking, it's dark, it's nighttime, city, I'm hyper aware of all the humans around me. There were none, except one man walking towards me on the sidewalk, and I was trying to decide whether or not I was gonna cross. I was like, I have a dog, but it'd be safe to cross, I don't know, like, my brain's trying to figure out the threat level of this human walking towards me, and then while he was still a safe distance away, he stopped and looked over his shoulder. I don't know what he was looking at. Part of me wonders if he did it for my benefit. Why? Because when he turned to look over his shoulder, his back was facing me, and on his back was a transparent backpack with a cat in it. A live cat. He had a cat pack on his night walk through the city, and the threat detector in my brain was just like, threat has been neutralized. It was the most non-threatening thing he could have done. He basically turned around and he was like, do not be alarmed, ma'am, I am just walking my floof. So I have like a teeny tiny huge problem with road rage, and something that's helped me is when somebody told me that when we're driving, our brains know, even if we're not thinking about it, our brains know that driving is dangerous. We know that we could die, and if you're me and you have really, really bad anxiety, you're actively thinking about ways you can die every time you pass a semi or make a turn into traffic or anything like that. So when somebody does something dangerous, somebody cuts us off in a dangerous way, or I don't know, is like riding our asses. When somebody does something dangerous, we're more likely to get set off and go into fight or flight because we were already aware we were in danger. We were already in like a hyper alert mode. We were at like a 6 or an 8, and it took us to a 10. And so what has helped me not react so poorly is remembering that my biology is what's reacting, that my lizard brain is taking over, and that I just need to chill and nobody's trying to kill me. Unless you're driving in Vegas. No offense if you live in Vegas, but those drivers are homicidal. I was scared for my life there. But other places, people are just stupid. They cut you off because they were an idiot or a jerk, or there was a baby crowning in their car. Like, you don't know. So just like tell the lizard brain to quiet down when that happens. You freak out for a second, but just like reel it back in. And I'm not even good at that, but it's helped. Also, is my zipper down this whole video? I haven't checked this with like an official psychologist or anything, so feel free to tag your favorite local TikTok smart person to fact check that.
Am I wrong for telling a man he was too old to have a toddler? I, 51 female, recently went on a date with a 54-year-old male. I knew he had 2 kids, but while we were eating, he tells me their ages, 32 female and 3-year-old male. That's a deal breaker to me. At my age with grown kids, 25 and 26, the last thing I want to be bothered with is a man with a toddler and all the potential drama. The mom is 30. I went on with the date because I was having fun. When it was over, I had every intention of letting things just fade away. Yes, I can be passive aggressive. Well, he called a couple of days later wanting to go out again. I tried the whole I'm not ready thing, but he kept trying. Finally, I told him that the fact that he has a toddler is a deal breaker. Too much possible drama, and I'm way too old for that. Hint, hint. He told me I was being hypocritical since I was a single mom. I said a single mom of 2 grown kids. He kept repeating himself, and I kept repeating myself. Finally, I told him that having a baby at 51 shows a stunning lack of judgment that I don't need in my world. He was quiet for a minute, told me that was a messed up thing to say. He told me I should have told him that before he paid for my dinner and that it was a B move, then hung up. So, am I wrong here? He just butthurt because you called him out because he was being an irresponsible adult and having a baby at 51. Bah.
Am I the asshole for throwing water on a kid who kept doing ding dong ditch? Due to job opportunities, we recently moved into a new neighborhood. While most things were going fairly smoothly, we'd at around 4 p.m. hear a couple of knocks at our door. When we went to see what it was, to our surprise, there wasn't anybody there. It was only a couple weeks later that we thought there could be a possibility of someone doing ding dong ditch. We just never really thought of it as everyone here seemed really relaxed, so ding dong ditch never crossed our minds. As to not resort to any extreme measures, we put up a sign near the door. It read, "Please do not trouble the people inside by doing these silly pranks," which didn't work. We decided to ask people in the neighborhood about it. They said it was a tradition for the kids in the neighborhood to do this to new people in the area.